It must be nice to have a car named after you. Here we have John Lassetire, obviously named after the Cars 1 and Cars 2 director John Lasseter. And many of the employees that worked on the movies also got cars named after them. I'd really like to know the total amount of employees that got cars named after them. I think that'd be really interesting to know, but nonetheless, today we'll be reviewing the Radiator Springs John Lassetire. And we're also celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Dylan Jones. I hope you're having an amazing day. And if you're watching this after your birthday because you had so many awesome things going on throughout your day, then I hope you had a great day. And maybe you got some cars or planes for your birthday, maybe some money or an electronic device like an iPhone, maybe an iPhone 7. That would just be sweet because I know the iPhone 7 has some great camera quality. I'd love to get it, but I might wait for another version like the 7S or the 8. We'll see what happens. And if any of you out there would like to make your own birthday request or suggestion, feel free to do so. But first, please watch the video in the description below. It explains how to make a proper birthday request and suggestion. So without any further ado, let's dive right into today's review. So first, let's talk about this guy's appearance. I'll mainly refer to him as RS John Lassetire because it's a lot to say with Radiator Springs John Lassetire. So, as the name hints, he appeared in Radiator Springs during Cars 2 at the very end because, let's be honest, Radiator Springs was not in the movie at all. Probably like 3 minutes if that. It was at the beginning and at the very end. So he was kind of in the background behind McQueen and Sally when they were talking. McQueen was ready to race in the Radiator Springs World Grand Prix or something like that. I believe that was the name. And the only reason they released this guy is because John Lasseter, the director of Cars 1 and Cars 2, loves his Hawaiian trucks with the wood paneling on the side, and this was in the movie, so they decided to release him and name him after John Lasseter. Now you might be thinking, I know a few other trucks that are also named John Lassetire, and you're exactly right, and we'll get to those in a couple moments here. But back to his appearance, he was literally just a spectator of the race that was about to happen just a few seconds in the movie, and it was a pretty awesome looking truck. I'm glad that they made the car that John Lasseter is named after so cool. I just remember the chrome on him being very shiny, so that's very nice. Now this is a pretty rare car. He was only available in a Kmart Collector's Event mail-in promo. It wasn't necessarily connected with the Collector's Event, but that's how I got the cars to mail in for this. Now, I believe you would buy a certain amount of cars, mail in your receipt, and then you'd receive a free Radiator Springs John Lassetire and Musgy Liftsome. Those were the two promotional mail-in offers, and I believe earlier that year even Ivan the tow truck was also available, but then he was released in the following year, so it kinda made it not as exclusive. However, RS John Lassetire here and Musgy Liftsome the forklift, who was the other exclusive, those have not been re-released, and therefore they're pretty rare nowadays. Like, I saw the pair of them on eBay for $50, but you might be able to get them cheaper individually. So that's really all for his release, only once. And now let's move on to the review of this awesome truck. I always like that he is very heavy. He's a pretty heavy truck, and now as you can see, he's kind of like a light green color, kind of like a turquoise, but a little bit lighter. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's a very nice soft color. I also really do like his smile there. Love the blue eyes. I bet John Lasseter has blue eyes, no doubt, but I may be wrong, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment when I compare him to the other John Lassetire trucks. Now we have the wood paneling on the side here with the white wall tires and the turquoise green hubcap in the center there. Here's the base if you're interested. Actually, not that much information. I can't really see it at all with the glare. So that's nice. Kind of a different texture to the base as well compared to today's cars. Nice side view mirrors. I do like this little overhang here. It is plastic, same material as the side view mirrors. And as we move on to the back here, 1/12/57. That might be John Lasseter's birthday. Probably is. The January 12th of 1957, that's probably it. Or maybe it's December 1st, I'm not really sure. I'm not good at reading license plates and kind of converting them into dates. I need to see it like right there, front and center. But it's probably his birthday. That would make the most sense. And a very, very nice truck indeed, because it's all metal. Usually when Mattel does pickup trucks nowadays, they have the front half metal and the back portion plastic. But this one was a relatively recent release. I mean, it was in late 2013, so only like 3 years ago, and it's all metal, so that is just fantastic there. And now let's check out a couple other pickup trucks. Now, the most notable one is probably John Lassetire. Yes, another John Lassetire. This one is Jeff Gorvet's crew chief, and as you can see, he has brown eyes. So which one is accurate to John Lasseter? I'm going to look it up after I record this video, but I'm sure I would think that they would make the eye color on the diecast that were named after him the same as, real life eye color. But there is a little bit of a discrepancy between the two of them here. We have brown and blue. And now it's interesting because this one right here, John Lassetire, Jeff Gorvet's crew chief, the back portion is plastic and the front portion is metal. So that kind of gives a one up to this one here. And also it makes sense because this was a mail-in promotional offer, so it's just a little bit harder to get. It makes sense that they made it a little bit better quality as well. And now John Lassetire, Jeff Gorvet's crew chief, actually had a line in the movie when the camera is panning by all the crew chiefs. They're all kind of speaking in their own languages, and of course, since Jeff Gorvet is an American racer, John Lassetire told him to do something or kind of gave him an update in English. Now let's move on to the last John Lassetire, which is very rare and very notable as well. I will make a video about the Surfin' Safari John Lassetire sometime in the future. I want to talk about some of the fakes that are available from Chinese sellers and just kind of explain how you can determine a legitimate one. But for today's video, I'll just be telling you that this guy here, the red one, was only given to 500 employees who worked on Cars 2, making it extremely rare for the obvious reason that it's a very low run production, and two, the people who received it probably didn't want to sell it because they got it for free and they worked on that movie and they probably want to have it. So only a select few actually probably wanted to sell. I mean, some of them obviously did, and that's how some collectors have them. But now this one's a lot more similar to the RS John Lassetire in the fact that they have the wood paneling, white wall tires, and they're all metal. This one also has the same license plate as well. And now this one did not appear in the movie. He's kind of like a creation by Disney Cars, Disney Pixar Cars. So John Lasseter could have a character that even more represents him than this one over here, because we have the Hawaiian designs on the wood paneling. And as you guys probably know, John Lasseter wears a lot of Hawaiian style shirts. So it really represents his person in real life. And now I just want to compare the pickup truck to a few others. It's a completely different model, as you can see, entirely metal, whereas this Dexter Hoover, half plastic, half metal. And yes, they are a little bit different in size as well, but relatively the same. The beds are different sizes there. And I did want to show a couple other pickup trucks that are actually different models, so you guys know. Brian Feet Clamp, much larger. JW, much smaller and a different design as well. So I just wanted to show those for comparison. And so that's all for today's birthday request. Dylan Jones, I hope the video lived up to what you hoped it would be and made your birthday celebration even better. So I'll see you guys next time for another video. I do want to address maybe your guys' concern, maybe you guys don't really care, but I do want to mention something about my absence on YouTube lately. If you guys don't know, I've mentioned this in a lot of videos recently that I was thinking about taking a break, and I kind of have, like, partially taking a break from YouTube because I haven't uploaded this entire week. But like I said in one of my other videos, I do intend on doing all the birthday requests while I am on like this somewhat of a break, because I did promise to do those videos, so therefore I should be able to, you know, throw one video in per week. And now I will be going away this weekend, which if you guys are watching this like months after I upload, it doesn't matter, but don't expect a video this weekend because I am going to be actually away going into downtown Chicago for the weekend. So sorry about that, but I do actually have a couple videos in the works, so you'll most likely see those either next week or the week after, because usually I'll have time to record on the weekends. That's when I get the, you know, major bulk of time that I can just, you know, do whatever I want. So I'll see you guys for the next video. Don't really know what it's gonna be, but don't worry, I'm not leaving YouTube completely, just taking a little break, and it was necessary. I needed to take a break. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.